Hello and welcome to another episode of Tech Talk. This week we'll be looking at blockchain revolution and its impact on the Nigerian economy. To start, let's take a report on blockchain. My name is Dorcas Yakubuzala. You're watching Tech Talk. In recent years, the rapid advancement of technology has given birth to innovative solutions that are reshaping traditional industries. One such groundbreaking technology is blockchain, which has the potential to revolutionize various sectors of the economy. Nigeria, a country with a vibrant and growing economy, stands to benefit significantly from the adoption of blockchain technology. Blockchain is a decentralized and distributed digital ledger that records transactions in a secure, transparent, and immutable manner. Instead of relying on a central authority such as a bank or government, blockchain relies on a network of computers to validate and record transactions. This technology provides a high level of security, transparency, and efficiency, making it ideal for applications beyond cryptocurrency. One of the most immediate impacts of blockchain technology on the Nigerian economy can be observed in the financial services sector. Nigeria has a large unbanked population, but with the use of blockchain, financial inclusion can be significantly improved. Blockchain-powered digital wallets and mobile apps could give people access to financial services even without traditional bank accounts. Cross-border transactions, which are often slow and expensive due to intermediary banks, could become faster and cheaper through blockchain-based platforms. These will be especially beneficial for the Nigerian diaspora who frequently send remittances back home. The Nigerian economy heavily relies on agriculture and natural resources. Blockchain can enhance transparency and traceability in supply chains, helping to eliminate fraud and ensure authenticity of products. For instance, blockchain could be used to verify the origin of agricultural products, which will boost consumer confidence and support fair trade practices. While the potential benefits of blockchain technology are vast, there are also challenges to consider. Technical infrastructure, regulatory frameworks, and public awareness need to be developed to support the widespread adoption of blockchain in Nigeria. Additionally, the energy-intensive nature of some blockchain networks could raise concerns in a country with power supply challenges. The blockchain revolution presents a unique opportunity for Nigeria to leapfrog traditional limitations and embrace technological advancements. Welcome back from that break. In case you're just joining us, you're watching Tech Talk on Trust TV. We now have Mr. Obinna Iwonu, who is the president of CBAN, Stakeholders in Blockchain Technology Association of Nigeria, and founder of CBC Blockchain Community. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you, Dorcas, for having me.
All right. Can you give us a general overview of what blockchain is?
Okay, so blockchain technology is a digital ledger of transactions. Like, a ledger contains records of transactions, but this time around it has been digitalized, right? But why blockchain? Because it has been digitalized on a technology that makes it secure and tamper-proof. What it means is that your transaction has security due to cryptography, and then it is immutable. You cannot change anything on it, you cannot delete, you cannot remove. All right, so that is what the blockchain technology simply is. Now, it is a technology that is going to enhance systems and increases efficiency, and has also brought in transparency, trust, and security to online and digital transactions, and that is why you see that it is now possible for people to have their assets in digital forms because of blockchain technology. Now, blockchain has removed that barrier of no trust and has established trust. So now we trust the system to be able to store and secure our digital assets. And why do we trust the system for that? It's because we have ownership, we have control over our assets that is on the blockchain. So those are the beautiful things about blockchain, and this is just generally what blockchain technology means, without giving you so much technical jargons and languages and words.
All right, so how is blockchain technology making its presence felt in Nigeria?
Well, I would say that the journey of blockchain technology in Nigeria has been it has been a very tough one, and it has been a long time coming. It didn't just start today. Now, the first drivers of blockchain technology were private individuals. In fact, they were enthusiasts, young techies and tech enthusiasts and curious people, and sometimes people who by accident discovered blockchain on the internet, right? And without sufficient knowledge, they began their search of curiosity for answers online, right? So there was no formal structure put for blockchain technology in Nigeria up until this year. Why do I say this year? Because this year was when Nigeria has officially adopted a national blockchain policy, making us the first country in Africa to have a national blockchain roadmap and the 9th country in the world. So Nigeria has joined the league of elite nations that are adopting blockchain technology, that wants to use blockchain technology for transformation, for economic development, for wealth creation, job creation. And of course, the major initiator of this blockchain technology was the Federal Ministry of Communications, and digital economy under Isa Lipantami, and of course the agency that is responsible for the implementation of this blockchain policy is NIDA, the National Information Technology Development Agency. So before now, what you've had is individual efforts. First of all, it started with learning about blockchain, the curiosity, the knowledge era, and then we came to the point that we started interacting with blockchain platforms itself, and then we had global blockchain companies begin to develop interest in Africa. And of course, developing interest in Africa started with Nigeria. So some of our people started working in the blockchain technology industry. And so the experience started growing. And from there, we began to build our own blockchain firms, blockchain solutions that are, relatable to the challenges and issues that we have in Africa, so that we could use blockchain technology to solve those challenges. And now the government has stepped in. And so NIDA recently trained 32,000 Nigerians on blockchain technology. So this is what the journey has been, but I would say that blockchain is just beginning to take shape fully in Nigeria now, with the recognition of the government and the adoption of the national blockchain policy.
Okay. How has the adoption of blockchain technology evolved across different sectors of the Nigerian economy?
Very minimal. I will tell you that if we are to count by that, I would say maybe 5%.
Out of 100?
Yes, out of 100, maybe 5%. But the potential is enormous. Okay. And that is why it's beautiful that we have a national blockchain policy now that involves both the private and the public sector. Because take for example, one of the primary use cases of blockchain is for public records, but we're not even doing that. Not many government agencies knows that there is even such a thing as the public blockchain technology in existence, right? And then we look at financial inclusion, which is the primary use case that we can solve with blockchain technology, which is what is most popular across the world, right? Almost everybody has heard about digital currencies, but they have not heard about the underlying infrastructure which made it possible, right? And so you see the growth has been very slow. Most of the innovations that we've had in Africa and in Nigeria had been in the financial sector, right? To enable people make payments, perform transactions without the hurdles of the restrictions and the bottlenecks in the banks and access to financial services. In fact, some people do not even have documentation, which is another area that we would use blockchain technology for. Database management, right? With database management on blockchain technology, we don't need to have BVN. We now have NIN. We now have your national driver's license. You have PVC. You have a passport. All of these things are different types of documentation. And sometimes you go to a certain place, they tell you that this is not acceptable. So if I have a BVN, why can't I just go to do some documentation and use my BVN? Why do they have to tell me, no, you have to provide us with a national identity card, or you have to provide us with either a passport, a PVC, or a driver's license, all of those. These are multiplicity of identity for just one person. So, but if we have a database management system that is on the blockchain, all you need is a digital identity. Which when imputed in any system, you can use it can be used to identify you anywhere and in anything. In fact, I don't even need to, if I want to open a bank account, I don't need to go to the bank. I just go online, put my digital identity code, and then the system runs through it, verifies who I am, and voila, everything is done. So you see, it has been very slow. So maybe we should start with database management first of all. Right? And then we can now start with keeping public records, in governance. And then we can now look at how we can increase financial inclusion, because there's a lot of our population and, citizens who do not have access to basic financial services. Some of them is because they are not in areas where financial services can reach them. Some of them it's because they do not even have access to the internet. Some of them, they can't afford a smartphone, So there are so many reasons why people are not accessing financial services in Nigeria. But blockchain technology can help us solve that. It will take it to the grassroots. So there is a lot, but very minimal at what is happening. The financial sector has been able to harness blockchain technology a tiny bit. But within the next couple of years, starting from the next couple of months and onwards, we will see massive adoption into what I call inclusive participation, where we have all sectors using blockchain: agriculture, medicine, education, engineering, manufacturing, name it.
So currently it's just finance.
Yeah, finance, and then a few areas are beginning to pop up. There are now innovations in the medical sector to use blockchain. There are now innovations in the education sector. Look at something as simple as certificate verification. If these things are on blockchain, why should they be on the blockchain? Because you can't change anything that is on the blockchain. You can't delete it. You can't remove it. So there will be no issue with I went to University of Wisconsin and then you did not go to University of Ibadan and all of those controversies. All of these things are just easily verifiable on the blockchain technology, right? So we look at where education comes in. Then there are also some attempts at agriculture also to implement blockchain technology, and then also in real estate and land registry, which is one of the areas where we can drive mass adoption, because almost everybody in Nigeria has a land. They don't need to live in Abuja. They don't need to live in Lagos, Port Harcourt, or Enugu to have a land. Right there in their villages, the inherited lands, ancestral lands, can't these things be documented and registered on the blockchain? Because even in the villages, you have land disputes. My grandfather gave your grandfather this land to farm, and then my grandfather now died without your grandfather returning the land. And you grew up knowing your grandfather to be farming on this land, and you claim that this is your family land. And then a dispute starts. So it's not only in the cities where you have disputes, even right there in the villages. So with land registry alone, we can drive blockchain adoption to the mainstream, to the local people, So there's a whole lot.
All right, so what are the regulatory challenges that blockchain technology and cryptocurrencies face in Nigeria, and how do this impact adoption?
The regulatory challenges. For now, there is really no clear defined regulation for blockchain technology.
Okay.
We in the Blockchain Association have worked on an industry standard. What is left is for government to adopt it,
Okay.
implement it into law. Now, when it comes to digital assets, which is another area of blockchain, the SEC is doing something on that. Then come to blockchain technology itself. NIDA has come up with a blockchain policy, right? To be implemented widely across public and private sector in Nigeria. So we need to have that government-backed regulation, you know, and that is why the government and industry collaboration and partnership is very important, which is one of the things as the president of the Blockchain Association that I have been doing, you know, to see how we can work with relevant agencies of government, commissions and ministry departments, and even the legislature and the executive, right, to put these things into law and make it enforceable. Okay, so that we can begin to reap the benefits across different sectors of our economy. Look, for example, the digital assets and the currency sector suffered a setback in February 2021 from CBN, where they instructed banks to stop dealing with individuals and organizations that transact with cryptocurrency. That already sets back. It may be targeted at crypto, but the overall effect was also hindering the blockchain technology industry. So the growth was hampered and the effect was being felt all around, you know. So there has to be that clear definition. We have asked this question. First of all, you have to start with a definition. What is this thing? What does it mean? Because when there is clarity, then you will begin to draft policies and regulations for it. And then the next thing is implementation and enforcement.
Yeah.
So when we follow this route, we could defeat them, all right? And we would have a robust, the most robust blockchain hub and the economy in Africa. So for now, there is a lot of hindrances. There is no clear regulation for blockchain technology right now, all right? But the policy, the national blockchain policy, is now addressing that. So from there, we can now form regulations that can now be enforceable to guide the blockchain industry. We are already working on that. It's on the pipeline. Very soon there will be one out.
Okay. So what initiatives are in place in order to promote blockchain education and skill development in Nigeria?
Well, two places. One is the Blockchain Association, where we have a policy, you know, we have a roadmap for blockchain education. We do that through communities, through schools, and then of course through institutions, all right? And of course we also partner with global organizations and the corporate bodies to spread blockchain awareness and education and trainings, because we are not just interested in you knowing about what blockchain is, we are also interested in you acquiring a blockchain skill. Like I mentioned earlier, NIDA trained 32,000 Nigerians. The goal was for 40,000. So they've trained the first batch, which is 32,000 Nigerians, on blockchain technology. And that is a very smart move. Why is it so? We just launched a national blockchain policy, but the policy is not going to act on itself. Right? If we have launched a policy, then we need two sets of people to make this policy work and enforceable. We need the service providers, we need the innovators, the solution providers, right? And so that is what NIDA has taken a step to address, right? 32,000 is not enough, but 32,000 is a starting point, right? And I believe that in the coming months and years, you are going to see more NIDA involvement and partnership with private the sector, you know, to increase this training, because we need a massive what word now, you know, we need a speedy growth in the number of blockchain service providers and blockchain skills that is available in Nigeria. We are a population of over 200 million people. We are the biggest market in Africa. In fact, in the adoption of blockchain technology and the currency aspect, what we have in Africa, Nigeria alone accounts for 66% of it. Nigeria alone accounts for 66% of the adoption in Africa. So we cannot afford to sleep on this thing, because the rest of the world is moving. If we don't move, we may successfully have positioned ourselves to be programmed as a consumer continent and country. And that wouldn't make any sense. Blockchain technology is just 14 years old. It's still a baby. We are still early, right? And that's why we must take a very speedy approach towards it.
What are the steps that you think the Nigerian government should take in order to take blockchain technologies to this level you just made mention of? Us having offices in other countries.
Okay, so we've started first of all with a blockchain policy, right? Now, we've also moved into the step of implementation of the blockchain policy. Another area, I think I have also mentioned about how public and private partnership in education and training can help us in skill development to produce more service providers and innovators to serve the blockchain industry. Another area is in funding, because when we want to build all these things, we need money. And if we don't have money, then all our solutions is going to be lying in our head and in our dreams, or maybe in fantasies. And we don't want fantasies, all right? We want solutions that will come into reality. So funding, all right? There is the startup fund already available to address the tech sector. But the blockchain sector is a very important and special sector. We should be giving special attention, either under the startup fund or a development fund earmarked specifically for just blockchain technology alone, all right? And then we begin to establish blockchain zones, like what you have in Dubai, what you have in Malta, in Estonia, in Singapore, where they have these areas mapped out for blockchain technology development. And what has that helped them to achieve? They've seen an influx of foreign companies into their economy. In fact, the biggest right now is in Dubai. Most of these global blockchain organizations either have moved their head offices to Dubai or established offices in Dubai, right? We can do the same for Nigeria, because there's an increased interest in Africa. Everybody wants to work in Africa. Every company wants to be present in Africa. They are all bringing their solutions to Africa, but none of them is setting up offices in Nigeria. The people who are winning largely at this is Kenya. But yet Nigeria accounts for 66% of the adoption. Doesn't make sense. So we need to create an enabling business environment for blockchain startups. And so we look at existing blockchain organizations, companies, projects, initiatives, right? And then we look at the ones who want to start. So we must carry along those who has been existing, both locally and globally, and then also prepare a ground for new ones to come up. And then we can have a fund for it, but most ultimately is to make it a lucrative grant to attract investors, because no economy actually grows based on its own financing.
All right, thank you so much for coming to the program.
Thank you for having me.
We'll go on a quick break, and when we return, we'll bring you tech tips. Stay with us. Today on Tech Tips, we'll be showing you tips on implementing blockchain for businesses in Nigeria. Step 1. Understand your business needs. Identify specific pain points or inefficiencies in your business process that blockchain can address. Determine if the decentralized and transparent nature of blockchain aligns with your business goals. Step 2. Education and awareness. Ensure your team understands what blockchain is, its benefits and limitations. Conduct workshops or training sessions to build a foundational knowledge of the technology. Step 3. Proof of concept. Start with a small-scale proof of concept to test the feasibility of your blockchain solution. This helps in understanding the technology suitability for your business and identifying potential challenges early. Step 4. Choose the right blockchain platform. Select a blockchain platform that suits your business requirements. Consider factors like scalability, consensus, mechanism, development tools, and community support. Step 5. Partner with experts. Collaborate with experienced blockchain developers, consultants, or firms with a track record of successful implementations. Step 6. Data privacy and security. Address concerns about data privacy and security. Ensure that sensitive information is encrypted and that only authorized parties can access the data on the blockchain. Step 7. Integration with existing systems. Plan for seamless integration of blockchain with your existing IT infrastructure. APIs and middleware solutions may be needed to bridge the gap between blockchain and your legacy systems. Step 8. Scalability considerations. Keep in mind that blockchain scalability can be a challenge. Research ways to scale your solution as your business grows, such as user layer 2 solutions or sidechains. Step 9. Regulatory compliance. Understand the regulatory landscape in Nigeria regarding blockchain and cryptocurrencies. Ensure that your implementation complies with relevant laws and regulations. And finally, Step 10. Measure success. Define key performance indicators, KPIs, to measure the success of your blockchain implementation. And that's how we wrap it up today on Tech Talk. You can drop your comments and contributions on all our social media platforms. Don't forget to join in next week, same time, same station, for a fresh edition of the program. My name is Dorcas Yakub Zala. Goodbye.